We're in Pontiac, Illinois, looking at one of our agronomy in action sites. We have a really neat opportunity to really compare and contrast two of our big hitters in that 110-day market in 10L16 and 10D21. What we want to take a look at is how does the root look at three different populations, a low, a medium, and a high, and how does the ear look as well too. So first we're going to take a look at 10L16. Below me here we've got this hybrid at a 30, a 36, and a 42,000 population. The first thing I want to look at is let's take a look at the root and the root structure. Okay, at a lower population here, I've got a really good root. We dug this one here this morning and we broke it off with the shovel, but we got pretty good deep penetration here. A lot of fibrous tendencies up in near the soil line. We really like this hybrid at this lower to mid 30,000 population. Okay, what does that mean in terms of an ear? This ear here is about 16 by 42 to 45, depending on how we finish up pollination. But my kernel size is huge, and I'm going to get very good kernel flex with this hybrid, probably in the ballpark of 75,000 kernel per bushel. Okay. Now, if we move ahead and we go to our mid 30 population, we'll stick with the ear here. Very comparable ear. I've actually added two more around, but I've given up a little bit length. We've got a comparable yield to what we have with the low 30,000 pop. But now take a look at my root system. Okay, I still got a good root system, but it's really starting to shrink back on me. And now I'm going to get a little bit worried and concerned about the opportunity and the potential for some root lodging. Okay, let's compare and contrast now finally here with the high population. Okay, 42,000 where I'm at, you can just see this root really pulled back, and we've lost a lot of root mass both in girth and in depth too. We've got a pretty respectable ear for that. Okay, a 16 by 35 type ear. There's going to be grain here, but what we have to realize and understand is these ears are going to give us about the same yield. There's just no reason to really have to push the pops, because you can see what happens with the root structure underneath. Now let's contrast that with another 110-day hybrid in 10D21 that we're very excited about. So we've got the same trial, the same experiment, where we're looking at three different populations, a 30, 36, and low 40s, and let's look at what happens with 10D. Okay, first thing, look at my root system. Okay, I challenge anyone to go out and try to find a better root system than this. Fantastic. Good brace roots, good deep penetrating root, standability is not a problem. If I come up here to the 36,000, same thing, not seeing a real big difference here. Now let's go all the way up to the low to mid 40s, and again, my root is not changing all that much. Okay, this is a very, very powerful visual. What does this mean in terms of ear? We know that 10D21 is a bit of a fixed ear hybrid, so in many plants this year we're getting two ears here. Okay, this primary one, most everywhere I've seen it, whether it's here in Pontiac or elsewhere in the Midwest, is a 16 or 18 by about 35 to 40 long. But then I'm getting this second ear, which is giving me arguably 75 bushel on about a third of the plants. Okay, that's nice to have, but it worries me, because what happens if we give that up? I can come up here into the mid 30s and I'm still getting that. My ear hasn't changed, but I'm starting to get a little bit shaky on if I'm going to keep this second ear or not. Finally, if I come up here to the low 40s, again, my ear has not changed. So the name of the game with this product is you drive yield with population. Okay, I'm going to bring over a couple of plants right here to further show this. In the field, this is how the plants look. If I'm at a high pop, 40,000, I'm getting one primary ear. If I'm at a low to mid pop, that's where I'm getting those two. And again, I like the second ear, but I don't want that second ear because it's going to give me the opportunity to lose it. I want to drive that yield on the primary one. That's in part why we got to have this at the upper 30s to maybe even low 40s to ensure that we get that. Last thing I want to show here is ears from calendar year 2019, where we're looking at this hybrid under different management strategies. So what we're looking at here is 10D21, where we have low populations and high management, and this is my ear, 16 by 35 ear. If I do the same thing, but I add 10,000 population, I've got a 16 by 32 ear. Not changing. What has changed is my population. If I go ahead and I back the population, or I keep the population the same, excuse me, but I pull out the fertility, now look at my ears. I did not give up ear size or ear kernel count. What I gave up was grain quality. What I gave up was test weight. So a real important thing with this hybrid is plant it thick, and run a good solid base program as far as fertility goes. That's what we wanted to share with you today on these two hybrids. They're great, they're fantastic, they're gonna do good in your fields and for your customers. We just have to manage them right.